Welcome to the Rural Dispatch, the podcast delivering stories from rural America. I'm your host, Allie Behrens. Headquartered in rural Iowa, I help run a nationwide livestock transportation company, and I'm here to bring you stories from the people who help shape this industry and our rural communities. Whether you're a trucker, livestock producer, or rural entrepreneur, this show is for you. Each week, we explore the realities of rural business life, from the highways to the fields and everything in between. So buckle up and let's dive into today's episode. Okay, welcome back to the Rural Dispatch. We have something a little bit different today. We have a local to Carroll small business owner, Luke Quandt with Quandts Coatings, and I am fascinated by what you do. So I'm excited to have you on today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
All right. Give us the background. What is Quandts Coatings? What do you do?
So Quandts Coatings is based out of Carroll, Iowa. We do custom engraving and water jet cutting. So whenever you want something personalized, we can engrave on pretty much any type of material, any size of material, from promotional items, personal items, memorials, a little bit of everything. We can engrave different types of materials such as leather, metal, stone, glass, wood, you name it, we can do it. And then on the water jet side, I have a table that will cut any material 6 foot by 13 and any thickness. So thick metal up to about 6 inches or more, glass it'll cut, stone, countertops, wood, again, you name it, we can probably cut it.
And that's a relatively new addition, right?
Yeah, I've only been doing water jet for about a year now.
Okay.
Trying to grow that business along with what I do. I've been doing the engraving for about 6 years now.
Okay.
Started off on and off and out of my garage, and then grew it into a business where I have a shop in Carroll, and I do that full time.
So how did you get into this? Like what started this?
So it was more of a whim than anything. So I used to work on hog barns, doing maintenance and different things like that. Hog barns, I'd go around to farmers and work on their hog barns. Well, I was single, didn't have much to do at night and stuff, so I ended up buying my laser and started running that out of my house. And then that started picking up, and I kind of looked at things and wanted to get out of the hog side of stuff. So I kind of jumped all my focus into laser engraving and then phased out the hog side of stuff. Did the laser engraving full time for the past few years now, and then decided to add water jet because I was getting calls for a lot of like custom signs and different things. And I had some other opportunities to cut stuff for businesses and whatnot, and then kind of grew it that way.
What do you think you do the most of? Like, is it small stuff or is it?
I do a lot of one-offs on the
Yeah.
engraving side. And when I say one-offs, it could be anywhere from 1 to 10 or 15 for personal uses, small businesses. I do a lot of stuff with them. You know, I get people that they'll be like, we're going on vacation next weekend. We need 5 cups to commemorate the trip and have all our family's names on them, so they each have different ones.
It's kind of like all the moms who went and got a Cricut and make all these t-shirts for their kids, but you do it on something that lasts a little longer than the vinyl.
Yep. And what's nice about the laser engraving, you mentioned the Cricuts and stuff.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that they get stuff printed on.
Yep.
Mine is burnt into the material, so it will never wash off. It will never dissipate, especially like tumblers and stuff like that. You buy something with a vinyl sticker on it, you throw it in the dishwasher, heats up, peels right off.
Yep.
You know,
Mhm.
I engrave. My engraving takes the powder coating off of the tumbler, and then the stainless steel shines through. So when you do throw it in the washer, it's never coming off. It's embedded in it.
Well, and it just looks really nice too.
Yeah, and it stays clean. Never have to worry about, you know, like I said, peeling off. And
Well, I feel like this is every trucking company. Everybody has their logo on something. Like people really like to have their business like advertised on something.
yeah, when you start building something, you know, you got to get your name out there.
Mm-hmm.
So merchandise is always great to give out to customers, to clients, stuff like that. They also want to keep it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be proud of what they're building.
Yeah.
So that's what I've noticed with some of the items I do now. Tumblers and everything, run into a lot of people are starting to get tired of metal tumblers because that is their giveaway. They give away a lot of those for people to drink out. I always like it when company or somebody comes in, they're like, hey, we want to do some promotional giveaways, stuff like that for our business. And I always tell them, like, tell me a little bit about your business, because there's a lot of other things out there that might suit their business a little bit better than just giving a tumbler away that not everybody has. I've done flashlights. I've done koozies, ear tags for cattle, a little bit of everything. I like to try and think outside of the box. Like, what's their customers not going to have 100 of laying around their house or something?
Well, and I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges when you're trying to find promotional items is like, what is different? And like, what can we do that not everybody has? Because there's nothing worse to me than like spending money on something that somebody just throws away or doesn't ever use.
Yeah. And that's where I try and come in and design or help come up with out of the box ideas, just because I'm the same way. I've started out where I was doing the tumblers for my business or certain things like that, and being like, here's this, and then all of a sudden you're like, see them the next time and they're using somebody else's tumbler, and you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done it that way. I like to try and do a few different items. I'm not saying always, but try and make it to where they're like, oh, hey, that's really cool. I'm going to use that forever. I got married a couple years ago. One of the big things that I did at our wedding for a giveaway was I did leather koozies.
Oh.
I still have people today that say, we use your koozie all the time. We're never going to throw it away.
Uh-huh.
It's a little bit better than it's definitely better, I should say, than those neoprene ones, the soft-sided ones.
Mm-hmm.
I have a drawer of about 100 of those sitting at home.
Yep.
I still have people that are like, nope, when we go out, that's the one we use.
Yeah. What's like the cost difference on a leather koozie versus those soft ones?
So a lot of it depends on quantity as well.
Okay. Yeah.
You get one-offs, they're definitely going to be higher than if you buy bulk.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere from, you get a soft neoprene one from $3 to $5, somewhere in there. The leather ones engraved on one side, usually around $7.50, $8 a piece. So it's not a crazy amount,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a lot nicer product than what you would get, from
Right.
a
Yeah.
big box store or something like that.
You get what you pay for,
Yes.
definitely. Okay, do you have like items in stock that you keep, like koozies and hats or whatever it is, or do you source those? Or I know that I have like sent you an Amazon shipment of a bunch of duffel bags before, and you engrave.
Yeah,
Right.
so I carry some stuff on hand. I do have a little bit of a show area that people can kind of look at. A lot of the items I engrave that are consistent, I can usually get within 2 days. So it's a lot of ordering. Amazon, if people see stuff that they want engraved, they're like, oh, hey, can we get that? I'll tell them, go ahead and buy it, and then I'll just engrave. You can always bring stuff into me for me to engrave. The only bad part about that is if I do not purchase it and sell it to you, I always have a disclaimer. If something would happen with my laser and it messes it up, I'm not liable for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, if it's like tumblers and stuff that I purchase, I make sure every one of them that goes out the door is perfect. I've got so many screw up tumblers and items at my shop that I've done test pieces and stuff like that, or I've messed up. I'll never send something like that out to a customer. I'll always make sure it's perfect.
Yeah. What's the weirdest thing you've engraved?
I actually had two really weird ones happen in the same day. I had a family, their last name was Ostrich, and they brought in an ostrich egg for me to engrave that put their grandkids' information on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really clever, actually.
It was very
Like,
cool.
was it a real?
Yeah, it was a real ostrich egg that they had hollowed. Somebody had drilled. It was about 8-10 inches in diameter. When they brought it in, I was really leery about it. It ended up being really cool after the fact engraving. Did not know I could engrave in an ostrich egg, but
I mean, when you say you can engrave anything, you are not lying.
And then the same day, I had a business come in, and the nail files that salons use and stuff, I put their logo into a nail file on one side. So that was all in the same day. Another weird item that I've done in the past, smelled really bad, but I did a cowhide rug. I burnt a big American flag in the center of the cowhide rug. It smells horrible, but yeah, it turned out very cool. It took about a couple hours to burn the flag and stuff into the thing. So it burnt through the hair into the leather. So the leather would always stay burnt.
Okay.
And then it cleared off the hair in just the spots where the engraving was. So it turned out really cool. Had to air out the shop a few days after the fact, but that was another one of those weird things that I've done.
Oh, those are good ideas, though.
When I say I can engrave into about anything, I mean about anything. There's only a couple items that I've had brought into me that I engraved into them, but they just didn't turn out to my quality.
Okay.
So I've always been able to engrave into it, but will it turn out the greatest? I can't say on some items.
Gotcha. I just think this is the coolest thing ever. Like, I'm fascinated by this.
It's definitely fun with the different items that I can do. I definitely do a lot one-offs for families and stuff like that. I can also do production items. I work with a lot of businesses, and I'm trying to get more production stuff, to keep going with that.
Well, it's just a little more sustainable for you, right?
Yeah,
I mean, a little more predictable, whatnot.
I work with a lot of different local businesses, so I'm kind of one of those people that if you have an idea, even if it's not technically laser cutting or engraving, cutting or anything like that, you can always give me a call and say, hey, do you know somebody? I team up with a lot of people in town, so I'm one of those that I don't want to compete with everybody. I want to work with everybody.
Yep. Which you kind of have to do in a small town. I mean, Carroll's not that small, but it's pretty small as far as running a business. Yeah. What's been the hardest thing, like starting a business?
For me, it's been marketing. I am not the most computer savvy when it comes to marketing, getting my name out there. The hardest part I probably have with my type of business, especially on the engraving side, is that what I do is a lot of one-offs and different designs. So it's hard for me to market it on like a website where I'm not doing 100 or you go and you purchase something on my website. Well, you want to change it and stuff like that. It's hard to do it without actually talking to the person in front of me or on the phone or whatever. I mean, I do that a lot where I get people that call me and they're like, hey, we want this, but we want to change it a little bit. That's probably one of the hardest things is to find is marketing and how to promote my business the way it is.
Because, I mean, you're just a one-man show. You do it all.
So. Yeah. So I'm getting better. My wife definitely helps me out with a lot of stuff. She's a lot more tech savvy than I am. She's getting me into the marketing side of stuff a little bit more and helping me with that. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, we're just looking to grow as much as we can.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of your wife, I was in the other day and you gave me this little magnet.
Yep.
That has like a QR code.
Yes.
And you just scan it. It goes to your website or your Facebook or something, I think. But just stick that on the fridge. I'm like, that is genius. And your wife makes those.
Yep. So she started her own little business that she's trying to grow as well. So her business is called Portrait Keepsakes. So she does hard shell magnets and soft shelled magnets. A lot of photos. So you have family photos, stuff like that. She does business cards out of the flexible or the solid. I've been giving out more of those magnets as my business card than anything. because it seems like if I give somebody a business card, if it doesn't make it in their wallet, it gets lost or thrown away.
Yep.
If that magnet gets under your fridge, I still have the same magnets I've had for 20 years on my fridge that it's always going to be up there.
Okay. I have a really random story about a magnet. We had this magnet on our fridge for years. The guy that he hauled for had a place in Mexico and had a yacht down there. And this magnet was essentially like advertising the yacht, like for hire. I don't know. This was quite a few years back. But we're sitting down there and we had actually just booked an excursion through the resort. And it was a few hours later and we were sitting there and Smoke goes, I'm pretty sure this is where that guy's yacht is at. We're like, okay. Well, we had no phone service. And I'm like, well, how do we find out? So he emailed our secretary, said, hey, call my dad, have him go to the house and look at this magnet and get back to me. So he did, got back to us. His dad ended up calling the number on the magnet. They just so happened to not have anybody out the next day. It was wild. Those things do work.
So yeah, that's why I've been trying to give out the magnets as my business cards anymore. So, yeah, like you said, it'll stay on that fridge, and then at the most random time, you'd be like, "Oh, hey, I need to go check this out."
Yeah, because it's one of those things that you might not need it today, so you throw it on the fridge, and then one day just this past fall, I was trying to come up with an idea for like gifts for our drivers, and so I ordered these vinyl binders that are like printed on.
Oh, good shot.
Because Smoke had a really nice like leather one that's engraved, you know. Had I thought of you, I would have been like, well, I could buy the ones on Amazon, because when you go online and try to find the place that you can get them cheaper on Amazon usually, but you can't get them engraved on Amazon. So that was my screw up.
It's one of those things, like, it works good because we feed off of each other, our businesses. So I promote hers, she promotes mine. You know, we get different people that, you know, that will like and follow my pages that would never think to like and follow her. Well, then I post some of her stuff. So our community gets a little bit bigger on both ends.
I love that. That's good teamwork. Good for you guys. Okay, another thing, I feel like a squirrel here a little bit, but another thing I saw recently that you engraved was a gun case.
Yes.
That was cool.
Yep. So on my laser, I am able to adjust the power settings. So when I engrave stuff, no setting is the same for different types of materials. That's why when I say I have a lot of scrap pieces and stuff that I've thrown away, or items that I've thrown away, leather engraves different than steel engraves different than wood. You know, you got a whole bunch of different things. One really cool thing, as you were talking about with the gun cases, I'm able to burn about a 1/4 inch deep into the foam on the gun cases. So the one we recently did was for a new police officer in our area. His grandma got the case. She brought it into me. She says, hey, can you engrave this? So we ended up putting his name, the Carroll badge, and then the day he graduated on the foam. And then that way, whenever he's got that forever, he knows exactly what date, which he probably wouldn't forget, but it's commemorated.
Right. Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. Like, we have a mirror downstairs that says the date that Jeff started the trucking company. Like, we wouldn't remember that otherwise. Yeah. Like, it's just one of those things that as time goes on, you kind of forget.
Yep. And it's like, what year was that?
Yeah.
But, so we can engrave into foam. We can also cut through the foam. So we have cases at my shop where, say you have a really nice gun that, you know, you spend a lot of money on it. You want to make sure it stays good. I can actually upload the certain specs for that gun, cut the shape of the gun out into the foam so it fits perfectly. And again, we can put any design you want into the foam on the top. So say you're an elk hunter, you know, you got your special gun for elk hunting. We can do engrave an elk scene on the top of the case and then cut out the foam so your gun fits in perfectly.
Okay. That's cool.
And it's one of those things that you don't think about it, but it really dresses up, especially for like businesses and stuff like that. You know, say a gun shop wants to sell something. Well, they can always upsell
Mm-hmm.
this by doing the gun case with the gun. That's something that most people wouldn't think about. But hey, I'm spending a couple $1,000 on a gun. What's an extra $500 on a case to make sure that the gun is going to stay pristine? And then it's also engraved with whatever I want. So if I'm out with my buddies, open up my case, it's a nice display for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's the biggest project you've done so far?
Production wise, I deal with some different companies where I engrave into metal. I'll serialize their parts for them, or for water jet, I'll cut parts. There's different items that I'll do production runs and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's really cool. I'm trying to get more of that kind of stuff with the water jet because I'm, just trying to keep it going full time and everything like that.
Mhm.
Uh, Size wise on projects, I do a lot of whiskey barrels, like the full whiskey
Oh,
barrels.
yeah.
So that's another cool thing with the laser I have. There's only one brand out there that will allow you to do it, but my base actually pulls out from underneath of it. So I can jack it up and engrave on top of whiskey barrels, side of whiskey barrels. My machine was actually originally designed to do headstones and stuff like that. So bigger
Oh.
projects are really not a problem for me because I'm able to move stuff around.
Okay, so how much of the designing do you do, or do you just take what people send you?
A little bit of both. So if you have a business logo, you can send it over to me. I can usually make something work with it. Now, I will say with laser engraving, you got to think of it as black and white. So if you have 10 different colors in your logo, it's not going to look exactly like your logo.
Yeah.
It's going to be black because you're just burning. You're not
Mhm.
adding any colors to anything. That's the only bad part about what I do is you're not adding a lot of color to what you're doing, but
Mhm.
it's going to last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where if you send over your logo, I can convert it in my programming and then kind of send you a proof back. If you like it, then go and burn it. Now, I have a lot of customers that walk in, they don't have no idea what they want. They just kind of have a general area. Now, I can go ahead and help out with that. If you're taking a tropical vacation, hey, we want our name and some palm trees. I can usually go and design something close to whatever they're thinking, and then we can tweak it and
Mhm.
change things and stuff like that. So
Okay.
there's a lot of things I can do. There's a few things I can't, but yeah,
Yeah.
I can help out with any of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like, you kind of have to be creative, and you wear a lot of hats,
Yeah, I do.
honestly.
That's kind of my brain though. My wife doesn't like it all the time, but I'm here, there, try and do different things, stuff like that. But it definitely helps out in what I'm doing because again, when I talk to different people, they're like, "Hey, we like this idea," and I've had customers come in, they think they want to go one direction, and then I'll do exactly what they want. And then they're like, well, maybe not. And then I'll do something that I think would look better. And then they're like, oh, yeah, that's what we want.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, and you've seen so many things, you probably have a good idea of
Yeah.
what. Just listen to the professional.
Yep.
They know what they're doing. How did you know that you wanted to go full time? Like, what was that like?
Really hard decision because I had my own business where I was doing the hog stuff. So that
Okay.
was a different business that I had before this.
Okay.
So I kind of was getting busier and busier and I was getting torn in two different directions. And I wasn't able to focus on certain things. And I kind of had to sit down and be like, okay, where do I see myself in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? The engraving side, I saw a little bit more of a future. The hogburn side, I was having trouble finding good help and stuff like that because that's not just a one man crew kind of thing. I just wanted to change. I'd done that since I started in high school doing hog barn stuff and worked through college. And then after college, I worked for a guy and then I decided to go off on my own. Did that for quite a few years. I think I'm like, I'm young enough where I could change directions
Yeah.
or I could
Like, it's still
stay.
scary, but it's not like you didn't have a family yet that you had to support.
No,
Like, it
yeah.
was just you. You can kind of be like, well, I guess if it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
I can go back.
Now I have a family and,
Yeah.
it's a little more scary to take leaps and bounds and stuff, but I have a great support system, so
Yeah.
it works out.
Yeah. Okay, do you ever get so busy like that you need to ask for help?
I do. Again, my wife will come in and help if I need it. I'll work late nights. My hours are, 8 to 5, but it's my cell phone that everybody calls. So I'm on call 24/7. If you need something, I'm fine with doing it. I'll get it done for you. I've had deadlines where I've been there till midnight, 1 o'clock, doing some projects or whatever. Not a big deal. I've always been a very flexible business guy that, weekends, stuff like that doesn't.
What's the why? Why do you do it?
I would probably say to make sure, to provide for my family. There's always goals that I have. Like every business owner, I want to be as big as I can, merge into different markets and stuff like that. I'm just not at that point yet. I trying to make it go with just myself. I'm stretched thin a little bit sometimes, but I make it work. Grow the water jet business, grow the engraving side. They kind of tie in together a little bit. So that's what's always kind of nice. One feeds the other, always looking for more opportunities and different things and make it more of like a machine shop, kind of grow, get more machines to complement everything.
Well, and I don't know, like once you work for yourself, you're on call all the time, but like you get to make your own schedule too, which is really nice. Like you can be there for your family while still doing what you love. I mean,
I grew up on a farm, never had a 8 to 5 job on
Yeah.
a farm. I mean, there's nights you worked late. There's, it's just nice to be I can choose when I work, I will definitely work as much as I can, but if I want to go take my daughter somewhere, or go do something with my family, I have the capabilities of going to do that. That's what I like is the flexibility to do what I need to when I need to. And then, don't get me wrong, it's very stressful at being your own boss.
Right.
But I don't ever see myself going back to a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's something that's kind of cool about farm kids. Like farm kids get that work ethic instilled in them so deeply that they can't really go work for somebody else either. Like,
yeah, you can't go work for yourself, and it seems like you can't ever relax either. Because you take a vacation, you're like, I should be back home doing something else. I wouldn't change anything about how I grew up. Like, I mean, I had a great family, great support system. That part I'm very happy with and stuff like that. And I don't really want to change it. You know what I mean? It's a good way to live.
Okay. Tell everyone where they can find you.
So I do have a website, quantscoatings.com. Again, that one has a gallery and stuff for you to look at. It has a few items on there. The worst part about what I do is there's so many different items that I can put on there, and everybody wants it custom. Your best bet is Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Quandts Coatings, as well. Go like that. I try and post a lot of what I do, but just message me. My cell phone and my emails are both on the website and the Facebook page. Message me anytime. I'm one of those people, if you see something and you're like, oh, that'd be really cool to have, but I want it changed a little bit, take a picture of it and send it to me. I can recreate quite a bit of stuff. I'm trying to get better, like I said, with the marketing and everything like that. So I'm hopefully going to have more stuff on my website, but it's hard for me to do that when everything's so custom. So I'm working on marketing and social media. Just started a TikTok account. So
there you go.
That stuff. My wife's really pushing me towards more social media posts and stuff every day. And, I just got to get my name out there a lot more. And I think it'll take off a little bit more than what I have. Don't get me wrong. I love all my customers. I'm just trying to make my community a little bit bigger.
Well, and you got to meet the people where they're at. So everybody, it seems like anymore, is on social media. So, all right. Well, I will also link all the things in the show notes too. So thanks for doing this.
Yeah, anytime.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Rural Dispatch. I hope you found something valuable to take back to your own operation. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. You can keep up with me between episodes on socials at Barons & Co. Or join our email list on our website to get new episodes delivered straight to your inbox every Wednesday. Until next time, keep those wheels turning. We'll talk soon. I want to share something we've recently started using, a new app called Beef Hub. It was built by cattle haulers for cattle haulers, and it's full of the info you actually want and need as a driver. They're constantly updating it with the most current details for the places that we go every day. If you're in this line of work, it's worth checking out. Use my referral code RURAL when you sign up and let us know what you think.